Hi, I'm Dave Muecke, and you're watching What's Your Story, where you'll meet interesting people doing interesting things in interesting places you'll never see anywhere else. And here's today's story. Today we're talking to Bonnie and Thomas Liotta up in Canada, who have some child-rearing concepts that are really amazing. Things you've probably never heard of, maybe even contra to what you're used to doing, but they work. Bonnie and Thomas, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having us, David.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Do me a favor and tell me a little bit more about what this whole child-raising concept of yours is. I've raised 6 kids, and I don't think I ever. They all turned out great, but I never really knew any secrets or spoke to anyone. And I think what you have is that you're going to share on a weekly basis is really valuable. What do you have in mind doing?
Well, I'm going to start because when I met Tom, I was a success coach. I'd been studying success for almost 15 years when I met Tom. And I was also a single mom with 4 kids. And so I was having all this raving success in my business as a leader with tens of thousands of people on my team, and I could help them. Then when I went home, I was operating with these 4 kids who were completely out of control, never wanted to help, couldn't get them to do anything, always give me. And I found myself following, super nanny. I was putting them in timeouts, and then they would scream, and I just didn't know what to do. And here we are.
That sounds so familiar.
Yeah, right? And so the psychologists are saying, hey, your 6-year-old has ADHD, the worst case of oppositional defiant disorder I've ever seen. He's going to have to be in a behavior class and this and that. It's horrible. And so when I met Tom and I saw him interacting with my 6-year-old, and I could see a shift in how he reacted and how he responded, and him going to bed happily for the first time in his whole life. And I thought, where did you learn how to do that, Tom? Yeah.
So stop that right there for a second, because I've got a little curiosity question. How long have you guys been together?
We met in January of 2011.
So 5 years maybe.
It was the end of 2011 where I started to discover he had some special techniques and some strategies that was really working well with my kids. I studied him for 6 months. Looked all online for the answers. Where else can I find empowering information for parenting? What else I couldn't find anything. And so after 6 months, I said, Tom, every mom and dad in the world needs to know what's in your head. And God basically just told me to walk away from everything to create a book and a program for parents. And he was just like, what? Really?
So it sounds to me like you found the child whisperer.
Right, and I married him.
And married him, yes. So the goal here is to help all of you parents out there to be to be child whisperers as well. Any quick tips you want to share just right off the bat? What kinds of things are you finding most successful?
Well, the crux is really simple. You can't say no, but you most certainly can't say yes. There's a magical sweet spot right there in the middle. And it's all about acknowledging what's important to them, not giving it to them, but definitely not saying no, but teaching them the missing life skill so they can one day do it all on their own. You start them off, you show them how it's done, and eventually they struggle, just like a butterfly coming out of the cocoon. It's that struggling part that lets the fluid get into the wings so then they can fly. And if we step in and actually help them get out without going through that struggle, we'll actually cripple our kids, just like the butterfly won't be able to fly when it's all said and done.
Yes.
So last week, let me step back. My son loves these Swedish fish, those little red things, candy. He's 16 years old. I went to Costco and I literally bought this huge, you almost need a truck to bring this thing home, bag of Swedish fish. I said yes. Was that the wrong thing to do?
Well, here's the long and the short, Dave, is when your child, and you mentioned he was 16, when you can honestly think to yourself and go, what would my child be able to do if I no longer existed in his life? Would he be able to acquire, accomplish, do, be, and have all the things that his heart desired? And if you can answer yes, then we knew our role as a parent. We gave them all the necessary life skills to make it. But if they can't, then our job is not complete yet. And that is the long and the short.
I just want to say something really quickly, David.
Yeah.
I believe that we've been programmed virtually since 1946 with the birth of baby and child care from Dr. Spock. We've been programmed that it's our job as parents to make our kids happy, to give them an easy life, to make them not ever want or need for things. And I just want to say the number one characteristic that creates success is desire. And so when we keep giving our kids everything they ask for, oh yeah, here you go, here you go, here you go, we are taking away any kind of motivation or desire that they do have to engage in life skill training and to break them through to the other side. And I know Tom has something quick, because it's not right or wrong buying the Swedish fish. It's just principle.
What I'm seeing out there a lot nowadays is that the parents have taken upon themselves the responsibility to continuously entertain their kids. They take them to do this, that, and the other, this class, that class, and they've lost their life because they're constantly entertaining their kids. What are your feelings on that?
Yeah, well, what you're looking at is reliving your life through your kids, possibly. But most important is finding out what is their drive. What's important to them? Because if it's not important to them, they're only going to go through the motions. And a lot of times, if we can fear-based motivate them, right? You will have fun. Okay, we got to have fun here. Then it's not authentically them.
Yeah.
And so when you disappear, isn't it interesting how the old saying of the mice will come and play when the cat is away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A side note,
Yeah.
I did have fun, by the way. It just coincidentally.
Well, of course you did. But it wasn't your main idea, was it?
Yeah. Well, I love talking to you guys. I love what you're doing. I'm going to love watching your show every week. And I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. And you guys out there, you can watch this show get started up this next week and every week going forward.
Yes. Create champions for life.
Perfect.